beginning cellists struggle with finding an appropriate height for their left elbow. Now, the truth of the matter is that the elbow height depends largely upon what string you're on and what position you're in. But a good basic rule of thumb is that you want to see that your arm is one straight line from elbow to base joint in your pinky here. Pam Davenport calls this the elbow wrist pinky line. So from your elbow through your wrist to that base joint, we should see one line rather than it being, broken in either of those directions. Okay? So if we're playing on the D or the A string, this is probably an appropriate height. Now the truth is, when I go to the G or C string, I'm going to need to get my elbow up and around a little further, because that will bring my fingers to the new strings. So we change strings not by reaching our fingers further over, which would give me very, very flat fingers on the lower strings, but rather by bringing our elbow up and around, and our fingers just go along for the ride. Okay, so depends on what string you're playing on, but when you're starting out, you just want to have this feeling of sort of gently floating in the middle. Okay, so definitely not too high, because boy is that a lot of work, and definitely not too low, mainly because that's a very dangerous habit to get into, but also because if and when you want to shift to upper positions, you're kind of stuck, right? So it's dependent on this, but then when you do get into those bigger shifts, you'll find that right before the shift, you're probably going to need to prepare your elbow by bringing it up so that your arm can get around the side of the cello. Okay, so when you are finding your elbow height, again, check out that straight line. Make sure that's one straight line. Check out how it feels. If it feels like you're working terribly hard to keep it up there, well then you've probably gone a little overboard. Imagine that there is a balloon resting in your armpit, and you can just pretty much sit on it or float on it, and that keeps you where you want to be. But beware of falling down, because that will prevent you from going anywhere in terms of higher positions and more advanced repertoire. Okay? Hope that helps.